When I told people what my plans were for this summer, the most common response I got back was, why? And that's because my plans for this summer were to go to Siberia for a month, to the Siberian Arctic, more specifically, with a group called the Polaris Project. And what the Polaris Project is this amazing undergraduate research project that takes undergraduate students from both in the US and around the world to the Arctic with a bunch of top-notch professional scientists and professors to do like really fundamental research in a part of the world where very few people ever get to go, ever get to visit, let alone do amazing science.
Yeah, the Arctic's where the action is. If you're interested in climate change, this is where it's happening. The warming's the greatest in the Arctic. The Arctic's particularly sensitive to warming. So this is where the changes are occurring now. In a lot of places, climate change, global warming is sort of this theoretical construct that people think about and they worry about in the future. And I think that's the way it is for most Americans. You know, they hear about it, they know that this is something they should be concerned about, but they don't really see it in their day-to-day lives. But in the Arctic, Arctic residents do see it. The changes are happening now. The changes are impacting ecosystems. They're impacting people in the Arctic. That is, changes occurring in the Arctic because of global climate change or because of warming in the Arctic can influence climate where the rest of us live.
It's taught me a lot about research. I think that as students, we're often required to give answers. You know, we ask questions, but it's to get at answers. And we're expected to retrieve those answers when called upon and demonstrate our ability to retain those answers. But I think there's a shift here in that now the students are being asked for questions. You know, what questions can we look at? To me, the coolest part is sharing, collaborating, discussing ideas. The ideas that happen when you have everyone inputting information and opinions. To me, that's really cool. And also, just everyone is so smart and curious here that I just hit a mosquito. You know, it's inspiring to see so many people that are creative, passionate, intelligent, and hardworking, and doing it in a place that's not really easy to work in. You know, it's buggy, it's muddy, it's rainy, it's hot. There's very thick branches you have to climb through. Like when you're walking on a stream, it's like all these thick branches everywhere, and the ground like is uneven everywhere, and you're like walking on this like soft moss carpet, and then you'll like step into mud. And despite all that, you know, everyone's keeping a good attitude and keeping answering questions and continuing to gather information. And that, to me, shows how much the project succeeded.
We're taking these undergraduates and we're throwing them into a pretty intense situation. We're taking them, we're traveling, in some cases, way more than halfway around the world to a really remote environment without a lot of amenities that yet has this like top-notch research station in it. Everyone lives together on this barge and has to learn to deal with each other, and they're going through all these transformations trying to become scientists, and the food's weird and they don't understand the culture. It's just a neat thing. It's a cool experience. I know that the undergrads that are on this trip are going to leave completely different than the way they came. It's not coming up here to the Siberian Arctic and doing research for a month is not something that you forget, and it's something that changes your life.